What I do is, what I say is, let's use our simple reasoning, without getting too complex. It's basic reasoning. That, for example, if we was to, like I said, I'll give this example. I said if we was to go home and see a plate smashed on the floor, or if we was to see, for example, let's say the chair fell, or whatever, we would not come to the absurd conclusion, or if there was food cooked, we would never come to the absurd conclusion that it came from nothing, or some other forces caused it to, the pepper to fly into the oven or whatever, and come to, we would just basic reason, we'll just believe, okay, something caused a plate to fall, maybe the wind, maybe an earthquake, but we would never think, okay, something supernatural or something out of this world caused a plate to fall.
But we don't know that for sure.
Well, no.
It's a reasonable conclusion to assume that something natural.
Exactly, using our basic reasoning, because we're not going to come and say that's the absolute. Well, we can, but then again, there's a lot of, because if you go by the thing of, but there's a chance of this happening. If you go by chance, then we will come nowhere, because I could just say, okay.
One can go with what's most reasonable.
Most reasonable, because otherwise you're just going to have people here. I say to him, okay, maybe a blue dragon went through my house, and he goes, maybe there's a chance. So what can you do with such an individual who thinks like that? So we say we use basic reasoning with simple things. When we're walking, when we see a hat on the floor, for example, most likely it flew off somebody's head or somebody threw it. We just come to basic reasoning, So why don't we use that simple reasoning when it comes to the universe? Why don't we just say, okay, we're using our reasoning to simple things in life, whatever it may be. Why don't we use the same reasoning with the universe? For example, that's why I hold the mobile phone and the tissue, or for example, tissue and a water bottle, And I asked an individual, I said, look, if you was to pick between one of these two, which one would you say is most likely to be designed? If you was to pick one, there's design behind it, Most likely they will say either both of them, or they'll say the bottle.
Okay, but on what criteria are you asking them that?
Reasoning.
No, but you're saying you've got two items, and you're saying which one of them is more designed? More likely to be designed?
More likely that there's design behind.
Okay, and how do you, what's the criteria you use to say one is more likely than the other?
Use your simple reasoning.
But
for example, reasoning.
Yeah, but you're not doing reasoning alone, you're using something else, aren't you? How do you, you've got reasoning, sure we've got reasoning, but you're looking at two objects and you're saying one is more likely to be designed, I'm guessing, than another. Is that what you're saying? What criteria are we using to differentiate which one is more designed than the other? What are you using?
I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Reasoning.
So is it not?
That's what my point is.
Okay, so let me help you, because maybe I'm not explaining it. Do you normally go along the lines of complexity? Do you say one is more complex?
Complex.
Okay, so
complex design. Well, design whichever one's more designed, or there's more design in it, there's more complex.
Okay, so
like
that's
a mobile phone and a tissue. You can't. This looks more complex than a tissue. Even though we can both agree that they're both designed, but this one you said there's more complex behind it. For example,
so you think complexity is a hallmark of design? Okay, so
we can. There's an argument that I use. That's one of the arguments.
And that's the false one. That's the real false one. The design argument itself is problematic, but the particular one that you use about complexity, I believe, is in error.
Okay, help.
Because you need to establish, if you say this between the tissue, you need to establish on what scale does it suddenly become complex for us to assume that it's been designed?
Well, it's simple, isn't it? Like,
how's that?
There's a tissue and there's a mobile phone. Like that's what I'm saying. Now what we're doing is we're going to this. We'll start to, we don't use simple reason. We're going complex with our brain now. We're saying let's make it confusing. Let's complex, if that's a word, Let's make it more complex. But what criteria are we using? We're using basic reasoning, simple reasoning. Tissue and a mobile phone. We don't need to say, hey, look, it's simple reason. That's why I say, what happens is we are now diving into places where we don't need to, from my point of view.
Okay, sure. But I want to explain to you why diving in there is important, because you are making a claim that the more complex something is, the more likely it is to be designed. Is that correct?
That's one argument that I use, yes.
That's false. So, in my opinion, what is the point of design? What is the end result of design?
Well, the purpose of design?
Yeah.
Okay. For example, what I would say is that there is an high intelligence being behind it who has to have a will, who has to give it a purpose.
Don't go there yet. If we design a tissue, we design a mobile phone. Do we design it to be specifically complex, or do we design it for some other reason?
Well, we design it because there's a purpose, it's needed.
So actually, design is around purpose. It's not around complexity. When we design something,
not really.
Okay, explain why not.
What I'm saying is, complexity shows that there's a design behind it.
Not necessarily. Because
you
you're
tell me otherwise, then I'll agree. Yeah, complexity
Go ahead.
shows that there's a design behind it. A designer behind it has to have a will, has to have a rationality and consciousness, a will to do it. We can't say, okay, there's a complexity, okay, equals design. But what about the designer? We're talking about the one who's making this design. If there's a design, if there's a pattern, we're saying who made that pattern? Was it intelligent or was it not intelligent?
in other words, natural.
Was it natural?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So remember that your analogy is to contrast man-made things with the universe or something else, and you're trying to get to God by saying, hey, we've got these man-made things that are designed. Why isn't the universe designed? I mean, it's much more complex, therefore it should be designed.
Yes.
So your argument is
One of the arguments, yes.
Yeah, that's the main one I see you use. I mean, you can give me other ones.
Yeah.
And that's problematic.
How?
Because the hallmark of design is simplicity. If you think about it, when we design things, we don't design them to be complex. We design them to be simple because the end goal is to be used for something, for a purpose.
Okay, but the person who's making that product or whatever,
Yes.
he's going through complexity to make something simple.
Yeah, but remember
When I
what...
buy this iPhone,
Sure.
I don't say, I have to
But
get
you're
this.
confusing process with goal. There's two different things.
You said the designer makes it, what do you say, simple?
Now, the hallmark of design
Yeah.
is simplicity. That phone is simple. If it was difficult to use, that would not be a good design. I think we'd agree.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I understand that. Yeah.
So, but you're confusing it.
No, but even if it was complex, doesn't mean there is there's not some kind of a designer behind it.
No, it doesn't
You get
mean
it?
that,
Yeah.
but the
'Cause
hallmark. But when we look at things to go, hey, is it design?
Yeah.
We look at how simple the goal is, the end result of it
Not
is.
really. So are you telling me just because something has to be simple for me to say it's complex? No, it can be complex, like a rocket that goes to space. If I go in, I'm going to say, what is this? What the hell is going on? It's complex to me, yeah?
The makeup of it is complex. What's the
No,
goal?
it's still complex. I don't know what the hell. I don't know which button.
No, but you're confusing the two, my friend. That's what I want, because you do it a lot here with a lot of certainty, and this is the big one. It doesn't mean there isn't a designer.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't use the design argument, but it does mean you trying to give this complexity argument is entirely false, because you are confusing what the makeup is of something with its purpose.
Okay.
What's the purpose of the rocket?
To fly to space. Many other
It's
stuff.
simple, isn't it?
Many other stuff that I don't know.
But the purpose is simple, it's to get into space.
Yes.
So that's the hallmark of design.
Yeah.
If there was a phone that had 15 million buttons and you had 5 screens all over the show, we could still say that's design,
Yes,
but we
yes.
would say it's a bad design. Would you agree with
Not
that?
really bad design. Because
Okay,
the reason you're going to say it's a bad design is because you don't grasp it. You don't grasp those 5 million buttons, what they do.
Sure.
Just because you don't grasp it, you can't say that. Maybe the one who made it is thinking, I made those 5 million buttons for a reason. Just because you don't see the wisdom behind it doesn't mean there's no wisdom. You get it?
I agree. I know you're going to go there. Let me remind you what we're talking about which is you are trying to use this argument to go, hey, here's a man-made thing, here's the universe.
Yes.
Let me ask it to you this way, maybe it's easier for you. Almost every man-made thing, is the goal of the designer to make something simple, or is it to make it as complex as difficult so that we don't understand it?
Well, to be honest, it depends. Like I said to you before, there's individuals who make things mainly simple, yeah? But sometimes there's stuff that are complex, yeah?
The makeup of it is complex, the design is
makeup,
simple.
No. Sometimes the design, like for example, how can I say?
Give me one.
I'll give you the example of a rocket.
Give me an example of something that is well designed, that is complex.
Rocket?
No.
Rocket is. Come on, if you put in the rocket, how are you going to know what to do with it?
All right, let me ask it again, because you are
complex.
confused. Give me an example of a design that has got a complex goal at the end. That's what we're talking about.
A design that doesn't have a complex goal.
Because every time I ask you what is something for, if you give me a mobile phone, you give me a telescope, you give me a computer, I ask you what is it for. You can give me a simple answer as to what it's
It
for.
can be complex. This mobile phone can be complex to a 7, 8-year-old, a 10-year-old. This can be complex to somebody in Africa. If I give it to him, he'll be like, what the hell is this?
I know,
Yeah?
brother, but that's not the point of the design, is it?
No, that is the point. Because see, this is what happens, yeah? That's why I say, now, when I say to you simple reasoning, you've gone to complex reasoning. You've gone like, I'm saying simple reasoning, basic reasoning. If you go home today, Rob, and a plate is smashed on the floor, tell me the conclusions that you'll come up to. Say to me, Ali, I will think this.
You're going off on a red herring. That's got nothing to do with this argument.
You
Nothing to do with
it. Red herring. Address it, then tell me it's a red
You were
herring.
talking about the design argument.
But can we address this point, please? Yeah. You go home, a plate smashed on the floor. Give me the options. I would say, earthquake. Left the window open, the wind. If I got a cat, the cat did it. Something. I would come to this. Would you ever go and say, you know what? The plate just jumped. Would you ever think that?
But I wasn't there, so I couldn't see it.
No, I know. But would you ever think that the plate flew?
It's least likely option, but people report ghosts.
Okay.
But that's the least likely. So more likely some natural event.
Okay.
But that's got nothing to do with the design argument.
Natural event. But it has. Let me get this right.
Go
It has, because the fact that it has is the fact that you say it's the least likely. Yeah, you can say it's the least likely, or there's 0.00 chance. To me, that the fact that you're telling me that shows that you're using simple reasoning to come to simple conclusions. I'm saying good. Why don't we use the same method with the universe? Why, when it comes to the universe, the brain will take the simple reasoning out and go complex? I'm saying simple reasoning, same thing. Tissue and mobile phone, yeah? If I have a tissue and a mobile phone, if I told you to pick one, which is more designed, which one would you go for?
That's your question is incorrect. What you're asking me is which one is more complex?
Which one is more complex? Sorry.
The mobile phone is most likely more complexly designed.
Why the mobile
because
phone?
It has more things in it. We know from a fact that it takes more people to design. It takes years, etc. So we've got a lot of information.
Thank you. I'll take the tissue away and put the mobile phone on my left hand and the universe on my right. Same.
What?
Which one is more?
Which is more complex?
Yes.
We probably say, from a complexity point of view, most probably the universe, because it encompasses many mobile phones, many humans, etc.
Okay, so you say the universe.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So simple reasoning. Mobile phone. Did you go to the Apple store or wherever, the factory, and see it get made?
No, I didn't see it getting made.
Okay, you didn't see it get
But
made.
can I go and see it?
Yeah, you can.
I can.
But did you?
No, but do I need to?
That's the point there. The point here is that the fact that you did not go to that factory and came to that basic reasoning is my argument. That you didn't go to the factory, but you used your simple reasoning to come to the conclusion this is more complex than the tissue. The same with the universe.
No, hang on.
Did you get it? Look. Did you understand my point?
No, forget the tissue now. We're past the tissue.
We're past the tissue. We're on the mobile phone.
Mobile phone and the universe. I didn't go and see it being made.
Can you go see it?
Yes, I can.
But did you?
No, but I've seen videos of it being made. Is that good enough?
Okay, no, one
second. No, is that not good enough?
I'm saying, look. Let's suppose that even if you saw it on a video, if you did not see it, are you
physically?
If you didn't see it physically with your eye on the phone or there, are you going to reject that it was designed?
No, because I've seen a video and I've seen the phone and I can take it apart and look at it.
No. I'm saying if you did not see the factory or the video, would you come and say to me, Ali, I haven't seen it, that's why I'm doubtful if it's designed? Would you ever say that?
Would I say I'm doubtful? No. Why? Why would I say no?
No, you wouldn't say that, right?
No, I would say it's designed. Why? Good question. Because we've seen a lot of them in the past. We've seen a lot of people with them. We can use induction to go, hey, here's a mobile phone. Yeah. A lot of people are using this. Yes. There's a functions to it. There's a purpose to it.
You.
We're not done yet, though.
Thank you. You're like carry on.
Yeah. And the purpose of it is simple. To make a phone call, to browse the internet. The purpose behind it is simple.
Yeah.
What I'm specifically getting at with you is your complexity. To say to people, hey, this is one more complex than the other, is a bad argument. Here's why.
It's a bad argument.
Because you are trying to prove that because something is complex, we should therefore say the universe is complex.
Yes.
More complex, and therefore there should be...
We did say that.
Okay.
You disagree to that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let me throw a spanner in your works.
Okay.
Which is more complex?
I'll throw it back at you if it doesn't work. Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay.
Which is more complex, a snowflake or a block of ice that has been put in the fridge?
Block of ice. I don't know. I haven't really measured. To be honest,
which do you think?
To be honest, I saw a snowflake microscopically, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And it seems like it has design behind it. But what do you say? An ice?
An ice block. So you put some water. So you design some water in a little thing that you can then put in a drink. So the purpose is simple.
Okay. And about ice cubes?
Yeah, ice cubes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which do you think is more complex?
I'll go with the snowflake.
I agree.
Yeah.
So that throws your entire argument, your analogy, out the window. Because now you're saying that nature is more complex than a man-made thing.
No, but you're claiming, see, that's the problem here. You're claiming that nature in its own made that snowflake in that design. You're claiming that. That's a claim. Where's your evidence back? You're claiming that. I'm saying the reason that I'm using...
Does God make snowflakes?
God is in charge of everything.
Okay, so it's a natural occurring event that you say God created.
With the permission of God, with the elements God gave.
So from the Big Bang.
With the elements God gave. Yeah?
So from the Big Bang.
Big Bang? Look, the Big Bang is what we know where the universe started to exist, right? That's something completely different. Even what we're saying is, when God Almighty, let's say, started the Big Bang, every element that's in there is happening with its own will. We don't say, hey, this tree moving, it was without God's permission or will. No. Then that doesn't make him God. What kind of a God is this? I can't even control his creation. Do you get my point? What you're doing is you're giving the credit. It's like me giving you £10. Instead of thanking Ali, you're like, oh, thank you, £10. You're worshipping the £10 note. And I'm like, I gave you the £10. You're giving credit to the £10. Like the way...
That's a very poor analogy, my friend.
Not really, but the thing
very
is,
poor.
Rob, the thing is, you keep saying it's poor, red herring, irrelevant, but you're not touching the issue. Every point that I bring, you're actually enforcing my belief, but then you're saying red herring. So all I'm hearing from you is not good. That's all I'm hearing from you.
Do you know?
I give you the example of the tissue, mobile phone universe. You said the universe is more complex. I said, did you go and see the phone being made? And I said, if you didn't go and see the mobile phone being made, you would never reject the fact that it's designed. You would not do it. So that shows me simple reasoning.
Why wouldn't I reject it? I've asked you that question. Why would I not reject the mobile phone being designed?
I don't know. What did you say? I forgot.
No, you tell me.
I told you.
I'm asking you.
What did you say? No, what did you say? I forgot what you said.
Imagine that you found it. Why would you? I'm asking you now, Ali. Why would you say that it's not? That it is designed?
It is designed because, for example, I would look into it like you did, yeah. And I would look, for example, I would say this is glass, yeah, made out of sand and other elements. Okay, that can't come by chance to make this specific pattern. Yeah, there's a button here, yeah. This button functions, yeah. Okay. Who put this button there for it to function like that? Yeah, I will open it up like you would. Yeah, I will look at things how they're working with each other. There's a design. There's complexity.
Well, how do you know there's design?
Because I'm looking at it.
Yeah, but if you didn't know, you said, remember?
No, I didn't know. I don't know. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm using simple reasoning. I didn't go to the factory. I didn't see nothing. All I know is I have a mobile phone that I believe can't come by chance. This cannot come by chance. I open it up. I look, that's placed in the right place, Or for example, I don't know. Like, to be honest, I would say to myself, like, something made this. I would have to come to the conclusion that it can't come by chance. No way. It can't come from nothing. Something must have designed this. That's why I got. And you said the same. Then if we're on the same page, what's the problem?
Because you're then trying to use this and say, hey, well, the universe is much more complexly designed.
So
complexly designed.
Yeah, complexly designed. So
therefore, there should be a designer.
Yes.
And I'm saying that argument is not the right one. If you want to make the argument correct.
That's a perfect one. Like, you need to refute it. You're saying it's not. Imagine if I came and said to you,
I've just done it with
your camera doesn't work. Your camera doesn't work, but your camera's working fine. Yeah, but I'm saying refute the argument. You can't say it's not working, it's not good, it's not right, because I use this argument, yeah, not to prove a point, but get people to understand why I believe there is a designer and why they should believe there's a designer. So if I'm using it, until today, I'm being honest, I haven't come across anyone that came and said to me, no, they just jump, they get angry, or they swear at me. That's one of the things that happen. Not you, no, Rob, you won't. I know, I respect that. But other people that I've talked to, they usually get a bit aggressive to me and say, oh, you're trying shit, you're trying rubbish. I'm saying this is the simple reasoning I'm using. Use simple reasoning, and you will come to the same conclusion how you have just done when you said that if you look into it.
So you've given a bit of a story as to why you think the phone is designed. I'll give you two reasons why I think the phone would be designed.
Yes.
One is, as you said, we can look at it. The other is through induction, because we've got many phones. We could go to the factory. We've got videos. There's evidence that the phone is designed. Clear evidence. Okay, if we didn't know, if I walked along and I saw a phone lying there, how would you know if you walked there and you didn't know how to use it? It was an item that you didn't know how to use.
That's irrelevant.
No, it's very important.
No. If I walked in a desert and saw a phone, to me, I don't care what. If I was like an African or wherever, yeah, like a man who's wherever in the jungle, yeah, he came up and he saw the phone. To him, he's just like amazed. He's just going to be like,
let's use the African. What do you think?
What is this? Yeah.
Do you think the African is going to? He won't know what it is, but do you think he's part? Do you think he's going to think it's part of nature, or it's something else?
I know there's one thing, yeah, but the thing you need to understand is that I know that individual, whoever he is, even if he doesn't know what this is, he's going to know that this belongs to somewhere.
How?
And
How?
There is something designed behind it. Yeah, this little button here will make him realize this is designed.
No.
Yes, of course it would. Of course it would.
The weight.
Bring a little child. Hey, look. Look, I don't want to take out this little. Here, why is this here? It's not like. How can I explain to you?
Ali, the way we recognize design, if we don't know anything, is by contrasting it with naturally occurring. So if I walked over there and I went, it's nothing like these leaves, it's nothing like this grass. This is something that. This is not something I've seen in nature before, so we use a contrast. So when you go to the universe, here's my question for you. In order for you to say the universe is designed, we need to contrast it with a universe that's non-designed. Can you give me the parameters of what a non-designed universe would look like?
See, what you've done now is you've just jumped to another planet, yeah? Which you've just with the universe. I'm telling you, let's use simple reasoning to come to it. What you've done now is you've jumped somewhere else, which is irrelevant to our point. I'm saying, Rob,
you're not following.
I am following, but you're not. Either you're rejecting on purpose or you just don't want to know. Simple reasoning we use, yeah? We look at the universe. The universe is more complex than this phone, and you know it and you've admitted it. So if we can say the phone has a designer, if I did not go to the factory and I did not see how it's made, it has a designer behind it, then if I can't see God, if I can't see God and how it was made and how this universe manufactured, all I have to look at is the complexity, the tree, the atoms, the universe, ourselves, our eyes, our fingerprints, everything, and say this is more designed than this. If I'm using the same perimeter here, I have to use it with the universe. So why are we not doing the same? Why double standards?
Because it's not a double standard, it's the wrong argument. No.
But you're saying wrong, but you're not touching the point. The phone, you don't
I've
deny
just
it.
given you two reasons.
No, you didn't, Rob, you didn't. You genuinely didn't, Rob.
I don't know if you don't understand this genuinely, or you're a bit obstinate. This isn't going to stop your case, by the way. I just don't want you to use complexity when you go around asking people about the design argument.
Why? There's two reasons. Either you genuinely believe it doesn't work, and number two, you can't answer it. Because the thing is,
Well, of course I believe it genuinely doesn't work. Have you heard the difference? Do you know the difference between teleonomic and teleological
I
design?
don't even know what those words mean.
So can I ask you next time we speak, go and look that up.
What is it? Can you explain to me?
Okay. But then you're not going to learn a lot if I explain. I'll tell you when. So teleological is basically that there's a telos, there's a logic, a designer behind things. Teleonomic is what currently is referred to as natural processes. So when scientists go, hey, like the rocks, there's a good example. Go look it up, it'll be on the video. The giant causeway. If you go look this up on your phone now, you'll see it in Ireland. It's these stone columns that look like they're designed.
How do they look like design?
Because they're straight, they've got edges. It looks like somebody chiseled them, and they're not designed.
What's designed is, in America, you know those presidents, they have pictures of those presidents.
Hang on.
That's what you call design, not...
Ali, wait. I'm trying to explain something. You asked me what the two are. Now you're going off on a tangent.
I get excited sometimes.
So you understand teleological is what the argument you're attempting to make, which is that there's a designer. Logic...
Based on those rocks?
No.
Okay, sorry.
Teleological is the argument of design that you're talking about, which is there's a designer, there's a conscious mind. Teleonomic is the other version of design, which says natural processes create things. So this is, if you go look it up, you will see there's a difference.
Okay, so
that's what I want you to go look up.
Natural things do create things, but we look at what's behind those natural complex things that lead us to the designer. What you're making, I think what you're trying to say is that, look, there's this natural source and it's making all these designs or whatever, blah blah blah. So therefore, don't attribute it to God.
I'm saying you haven't. What I'm saying is it's not impossible, but what I'm saying is your argument for doing it is inaccurate.
No, are you saying don't attribute natural sources to God, like natural things that happen in a natural way?
I'm saying you need to make a good argument, and the design argument you've made is not.
Okay, you say it's not, yeah?
Yes.
You say it's not, but like I said before, I gave my argument. You agreed to my argument. I don't think maybe you missed one.
Ali, please don't mischaracterize me. That's not fair.
Is this recording?
Yes.
We'll let the people decide, yeah? Because you will say
I agreed with some of the questions you asked me. I've made very clear some of the other points.
You've agreed. So that enforces my belief. You're telling me to stop using argument where I've talked with you and you've just said, yeah, okay, it's complex. The phone is complex. Okay, the universe is more complex than the phone. Except this is the argument that I use and you've enforced it. But now you're telling me not to use it. But it's worked with you.
Well, it hasn't worked with me. Otherwise, I would say, Ali, you're right, isn't it?
We'll let people decide. And I'll have a look at the things you told me. But like I said to you before, natural sources, these natural things in the universe, these are controlled by
Andy,
God.
do you want to help here? Because I don't know if I'm explaining it very well. Maybe I'm missing the point.
Take a slightly different approach.
Yeah, please.
There seems to be an unspoken assumption in your arguments to do with the source of complexity. So can you describe in your mind what are the... Or is there just one ever source of complexity, or can there be different kinds of sources of complexity?
What's your name, by the way?
Andy.
And I'm Ali, yeah?
Ali? Yeah, nice.
Okay, Andy. So what I'm trying to say is, let's use our simple reasoning, simple understanding to come to certain basic conclusions, yeah? Now, if you go home and a plate is smashed on the floor, what are the first 2 or 3 or 1 conclusions that you will come up with when you see your plate smashed on the floor?
Right, you might be answering my question in a roundabout way, but I was hoping you'd get to it a bit more directly.
No, I would.
If I could use the example, for example, of
Too many examples.
I'm only going to do one. We take a drop of water.
I use the snowflake and an ice cube. But use that.
You've been round this, Luke.
You can.
Maybe you can explain it in a way he'll understand. I don't know.
I think we'd all agree that a snowflake is more complex than a drop of water. Now, one measure that can be used within physics and mathematics
when you give those two
is the amount of, if you're designing a software program to describe it, a drop of water is quite simply described. A snowflake, rather more elaborate program because there's a lot of detail. So therefore, we have an example of it is one of the definitions of complexity. How many lines of code would you need to? I think something.
Yeah.
So there's an example. But I think we know from physics how snowflakes form. There doesn't seem to be any room within that model for anything else.
No.
We know, given the properties of molecules of water.
Yes, but Andy, you're missing the point. You're saying we know by physics how the snowflake forms.
Yeah.
You're explaining the how it works. This is how it works.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, why does it work like that?
But that's not a valid question.
It's a very valid question because you're explaining the how.
You've now
it
moved on.
Like
You've moved on because you introduced an example. This is where I came in, and I understood it to you produce a mobile phone, and that's another interesting thing because in your conversation with Rob, you were quite adamant that any human being ever would identify that as an artifact. Now I don't know if that's true at all. I mean, there's a kind of difference between cultures here. We could probably encounter artifacts produced by other cultures. We're not quite sure whether they're natural or man-made. And I'm sure with a bit of thought, you could. Archaeologists would probably tell you all the time. There's something here. I'm not entirely sure what it is. You know, it could be. In fact, I remember reading one's come to mind where this lovely piece of stone was found, and it was assumed to be a tool or something, but it was just a brick. It's just an eroded brick. So there's sometimes doubt about whether something's designed. But interesting, you're very adamant that somebody who's never contacted. You see, this is an interesting thing. We live in a bubble, if you like, of Western technology. So we know. I mean, there's no. It seems obvious to us that the smartphone is man-made, and as Rob was saying, there's an awful lot of background.
How do you know it's man-made?
Because there's an awful lot of background where we distinguish between the background of the culture that we live in.
Not culture. So, what's the background of the phone that you think is designed? What makes you think this is designed?
Well, I've just told you that there's the cultural background of knowing that certain things are natural and certain things are not.
No,
now, I can't say whether somebody totally without that background, who never encountered the products of technology, who lived in a society, maybe hunter-gatherer, maybe one of the earlier human societies where they don't even really use sophisticated tools. Now, if they came across that, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure if they would regard it. It could be either they would, in agreement with you, say it's man-made, or they might assume it's another natural object, or they might assume it's something from the gods. That's probably more likely.
Okay,
it depends.
Yeah, I understand, but they will not deny.
We don't know.
That
the point is we don't know. But it's quite fairly central to your argument.
But this
and I hear it a lot, the smartphone universe.
Yes.
Now the next question is, now you're using the argument by analogy here, so we need to understand how analogies work.
Yeah.
So.
Can we first understand how simple reasoning works?
Well, that's what I was going to do, because you're using the reasoning by analogy, so we need to understand how analogies work.
I understand what you're saying, but the person who
Tell me how analogies work.
For example, 102 years, a person who doesn't know nothing about technology, if he comes across this, he will not believe it came from nothing. Neither will he believe it came by chance, because he will think...
You're claiming a lot.
No, not claiming. Look. I'm telling you, he will look at simple reasoning.
This is entering into the mind of somebody who's never encountered technology.
Let's go back to your house and the plate that's smashed on the floor, Okay, this plate is very important to
We're going back to the plate, all right.
When you see a plate smashed on the floor in your house, what is the simple reasoning you come with? Do you think a blue dragon flew through your house and dropped that plate on the floor?
A blue dragon flew through the house.
Would you say that?
Well, technically, I can't exclude that possibility. That's
the problem.
I wasn't there when it happened.
See how crazy that sounds.
I will use my knowledge of the world
and come to that blue dragon flew through your house.
No. What conclusion can I come to? It could have been a minor earthquake. It could have been a burglar.
That's fine.
It could have been badly positioned when I did the washing up. All sorts of things.
Okay, good. See those 3 points. What you just said there. Forget the blue dragon. That sounded a bit crazy. But I'm sorry. But the fact that you said earthquake. The fact that you said earthquake. Yeah. Maybe, for example, I left in a slippery place.
Yeah, I do that.
Good reasoning. It's simple reasoning. Maybe you had a pet in the house, which
pet.
Might have caused it to drop. But you will never ever come to the conclusion that plate flew off on its own and fell. Would you ever come to that conclusion?
No.
Okay.
Of itself.
Thank you. So this is what I'm trying to say.
Forces working on it.
That's what I'm trying to say. Let's use our simple reasoning. We're using our simple reasoning. Good. A plate would not fly on its own and smash on the floor. Okay. So what we say is there's a cause and effect. So what I say is now let's go to, for example, let's say if I had a tissue in my left hand and a mobile phone in my right. Yeah. If I said to you, you have to pick one, not two. You have to pick one of these. Which one?
Leaf and your phone.
The tissue and the phone. The tissue and the phone.
Yeah, what? But they're both man-made. Why not choose to say
no.
leaf and your phone? I'll come
to my reason why not. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go to man-made things to find the creator. Yeah.
No,
tissue.
So.
No,
basically, what you're trying to do is
my point with the leaf is we're going to find the one who created the leaf. We're going to find the one who created the leaf. Yeah.
Next to each other and say this has qualities and this has the same qualities.
Yes.
And you have to show.
No, I understand, but what you're coming with, if I'm not assuming, is where you're coming with is that's natural, and I'm saying to you, who said to you it's natural? You're claiming it's just randomly happening, and I'm trying to prove to you now it randomly didn't happen.
You're saying it's design.
Yes, but let me tell you why. Let's come to the tissue and mobile phone. You have to pick one. Which one would you go with? Which one is more complex in design? You have to pick one.
Complex isn't an issue.
No, bless you. Awkward now.
You have to bless you. He needs a little
waiting for that for
He needs a little blessing after saying the tissue is more complex than a mobile phone.
No,
I'm
he
sorry.
said a tissue. You know.
Yeah, he said the tissue is more complex than a mobile phone. Which one?
Sorry, which was more complex?
Tissue or the mobile phone? Do you really need that time to think? Come on, man. Tissue
What's
or
our
mobile
measure
phone?
of complexity?
Yes.
What is? No, what is?
No, see,
what is?
you know what's happening now? We've took simple reasoning out and gone complex now. I'm just saying simple reasoning, mobile phone or tissue.
What is our measure of complexity?
Ali, you can't keep saying simple reasoning as your defense when people ask you a question.
No, we are because
No, wait a minute. I'll follow this. I'll follow this. No,
no, 1 second. Why? See, there you go. Why did he jump to phone? Why are you going complex? This is my point.
Let me follow this because this is an important point. Hang on.
Why did you go for the phone, sir?
It contains more parts. There's more.
Thank you. Simple reasoning. Simple.
I understand what you're saying about what's the measure of complexity.
I introduced a measure before, which is the amount of information
But I want to make my
to
point.
describe the object.
I want to make my
In
point.
fact, a mobile phone is very regular. If you look at the
it's not regular.
circuitry, you don't. Yes, it is. If you look at the
mobile phone is
microchip
regular.
inside it, all you need to do is define one transistor and say that's repeated a million times.
1 second.
Right, a tissue.
1 second, sir. Let's get this right.
At the microscopic
Sir,
level, each. I mean, there's a kind of structure there.
Sir,
Can you
That's
come
what I
stand
mean.
this side because this guy's very loud. I want to get this on film. Yeah, move over. Just because he's so freaking loud. There we go.
Andy.
Stick with Andy here, please.
Andy, look, Andy.
Yeah.
Which one? Look at me. I'm getting visual now.
We assume
Yeah.
symmetrical positions here, have we?
But you won't let me ask what is your measure of complexity.
Why did he not ask me that? When I said to him which one is
Because
more...
he's using a natural
Sim-
language,
he's
and
using
I
simple
will say the
reasoning.
phone as well.
Andy,
in
simple
terms of
reasoning, yeah? There's two things
Simple
happen.
reasoning.
There's two things happen here.
You're being
Either-
too simple with your reasoning,
Yes,
if I may
Yes,
say.
very
why
much
do you have
so.
to be complex?
Because it's a very complex issue.
But no,
Why do we
no.
have philosophers? They spend thousands of years discussing these things. I mean,
good on them. Like, I respect them for
if
their
they were
efforts.
all like you, Athens, 500
What you need to do is
years BC,
explain
they were
to
sitting
him-
around,
No.
Plato, Aristotle, they say, oh, it's all simple, isn't it?
But you need to explain to him the analogy because he doesn't get the analogy part.
Which analogy?
When you were going to
I
explain to him the logic of analogy.
I was trying to, but he
Yeah.
wants to go off on his phones. And,
I
so
know.
I'll play the game so that the phone.
I'm happy
Carry
to-
on.
No, you're not playing a game. You're using simple reasoning there. It's not a
Well,
game.
no, what I've noticed
Okay, why
is
the
that
phone?
if I try and introduce subtlety and complexity
Okay.
into these arguments, your voice will get louder and you'll
No,
start
no,
saying
no.
use simple reasoning.
No.
And I'm simply trying to say that actually it's quite nuanced. There's a lot of complexity in here, how we use language,
okay.
how we use analogies, what is the nature of reasoning, all these sort of things. Now if you were to stand there just insisting that we use your conception of reasoning, I can't really go anywhere. So the only way we can go
Are you
anywhere
married?
if
Andy, are you
I
married?
agree. No, you're going for something else.
Andy, are you
No,
married?
I'm not.
I'm just asking a question. If you are married, you came home and you saw that plate of smash on the floor and you said to your wife, hold on a second, wait. And your wife said, you know what, probably the cat did it. He was like, no, let's not go simple. Let's get complex. Let's get complex. Your wife will slap you. Like, no offense, yeah? She might say, what the hell's wrong with you? The plate is smashed on the
deserve it,
floor.
don't worry.
But, no, because you know why? Because your wife will say, why are you going complex? Why don't you go complex? Like, hold on a second, let's make an investigation here. What caused the plate to drop? Now you're going to say something caused it. Earthquake, cat, slippery, place where I put it. Some reasoning. You're not going to go complex. So I'm asking you, why don't you use the same here? You said the mobile phone, yeah? I put the mobile phone on my left hand and the universe on my right. The same question, yeah? And before I go to that question, have you seen this mobile phone being made? In the factory?
I've seen videos of how they're made. I was in computer science for 30 years. I have
Good. So
a
you're
fairly good
intelligent man.
appreciation,
You're
even
an
though the
intelligent
technology is way ahead of mainframes that I used to work on.
Okay.
Fundamentally, they're the same thing.
If you did not see that video or go to the factory, would you deny that this is designed?
This goes back to the argument I was trying to make before. Because I'm a member of a culture that, I grew up in an age of TVs, wirelesses, motor cars and that sort of thing. I can confidently say, even if I've never seen anything like that before, I would confidently say that's man-made.
That's
no
man-made.
two ways about it.
Thank
because I'm from the culture that I'm from.
Thank you very much.
That's as far as
you
I
would
can say.
You would say it's man-made even if you did not go to the factory and saw it being made. You
Yes.
would come to
Yeah.
Thank you. Simple reasoning. Now,
Well, you're ignoring how
He just bypasses
now,
half.
now, now, I'm not bypassing. I'm not bypassing. We'll let people decide. Mobile phone and the universe. Which one is more complex?
Well, I first asked what is my measure of complexity here, but I think easy enough on any reasonable measure of complexity. I suppose you'd have to say the universe because it contains the mobile phones for one thing.
Yes, one of it has a complex thing within a complex universe.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is exactly my point, which I don't understand. You guys are saying I'm missing what? You guys are missing the link here. The fact that you came to that simple conclusion with a simple reasoning shows me why I believe there's a high intelligence being out there. Because if you cannot deny a phone, which you said to me, if you did not go to the factory and see it get made, you will still believe it's made by men, yeah? So how could you come to me?
How many men make the mobile phone?
500, let's say.
Okay, so let's say, using your analogy, 500 men make the universe.
Yeah. No, that's the thing.
Why?
See,
But
that's
you
the problem.
did not want
You
to
said-
discuss the nature of
you- no, no,
analogies.
you said-
I'm going with that.
Exactly.
I should use
You
your
said- you said-
simple reasoning. Your simple reasoning is
Thank you.
500 men made the mobile phone.
Okay.
Using your simple reasoning, 500 men made the universe.
Okay,
QED.
all right, okay,
Thank you
okay,
very
okay,
much.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Firstly,
Where are these men?
Yeah, where are we? We're to worship.
Or multiple gods.
No, but this is-
Whatever.
500 gods.
See, that's the thing.
So you're a polytheist,
No,
I
no,
take
I'm not a
it.
polytheist.
Why?
I'm a monotheist.
There's no proof that one god made it. We
There
know
is-
from a
there
mobile
is-
phone
there
it
is-
takes committees of designers, it takes all sorts of people with different skills and so on. The universe,
Exactly.
as we both agree, is
Yeah.
more complex than a mobile phone.
Yeah.
Therefore, there must be committees of people for trees, for the
Okay.
Norwegian fjords, for
Okay.
galaxies,
So what
all
we-
sorts of
you know-
things.
you know what-
Sorry, not people,
Yeah.
gods.
So-
I mean, I can imagine a whole pantheon of gods, specialising in
Andy-
earth, wind and fire and all
Andy,
sorts of
Andy,
things.
so what we've come now is
there you go.
what
I'm
we-
happy to
you know
live
what-
with gods
yes.
as long as there's a pantheon.
You know what's happened now? Now we have come to the conclusion there is design behind the universe.
I'm
now
going with
the
your
problem
simple
is.
reasoning.
Now
No,
the problem
I'm just
is,
following your track.
Sir,
You'll
sir,
have to demolish
sir,
the idea
sir,
of a pantheon
sir.
of gods.
Thank you.
Because you're a monotheist.
This is very good. So what we've done now is we have established that there is
I'm not
a
agreeing
designer.
that there's a designer,
What's
by
it?
the way,
See,
at
this
all.
is the problem here. Why are you so afraid that you know I speak to atheists here, and they
But he
like
just
they would
doesn't
say-
get
they would say
the
there was a
analogy
blue
part of it.
dragon and
That's
who
the
had
faulty part.
sex with a bloody red elephant
And it's like-
and the universe started rather than
But he
saying
learns
the
from
creator.
Muhammad, so
He's
maybe
not
we
very
need to
scared
ask
of this.
Muhammad.
No, he can't be the creator. What can I say?
Nobody's scared
It
of
was
it.
a muffin,
Wait
a
a
chocolate
minute.
muffin.
You're misrepresenting. I'm not scared of it at all.
Andy, you said that there must be these 500 gods, meaning that you have come to the conclusion with me that there is a designer, but you believe that design has to be 500 gods.
He's
Right?
using your
Will you
analogy,
accept- will
Andy.
you accept
Yes.
that
Ali.
I'm
Yes.
not entirely serious.
I know, but he's using my analogy to come to a conclusion that there is design behind the universe, and that design has to be 500 gods. The way I said 500 individuals to make the phone. Now that we have come to the point where we agree that there's design, I have to prove to you why there is one God but not 500.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So we have understood, not for the sake of the argument, that there is the design behind the universe.
for the sake of
No, you
argument.
can't, sir. How did you come to that conclusion?
Because you've
No.
It's frustrating.
You
Of
didn't
course
get
it's
the-
frustrating, Rob.
Because you're not
By the way, Rob,
understanding the analogy, brother.
By the way, Rob, before
This is
You
all I
did
want
not
you to
take
correct
the
you on.
Rob. We'll let the viewers decide. By the way, Rob, can I
Viewers?
use this footage as well?
Yeah, you get it off my site. Yeah.
No, can I stop you there?
Okay.
Can I stop
Andy,
you there?
Listen to him.
Please, no,
Ali,
listen to me.
do you come here to learn or do you come here to talk? That's your favorite
No,
question.
I want to learn.
So I want. Okay.
You're
learn.
No, Rob, look, you know I'm not like arrogant. I'm not here to
Well,
say I know
sometimes
all.
you sound like it.
No.
But now listen,
I
keep
might
quiet,
sound
let
like
him talk.
I apologize, but I'm not here saying I know
Every
everything.
so often
I'm
you have to
myself.
stop and let the other speak,
Go on,
especially when
there
they're
we
waving their arms around. No, I just want to make the point that the spirit in which I mentioned, the 500 creators and so on, was not as a representation of my belief. I was simply from the point of view of, you might call it reductio ad absurdum, taking your whole line of reasoning and showing where it could lead. I'm not suggesting for one moment that my belief is that there are 500 or so, or many gods, or indeed that there is such a thing as design. I haven't conceded that at all. So you were then, afterwards, you went off in a bit, and then you came back saying I had conceded that. I just want to make clear I haven't at all. No.
Okay.
Anyway, carry on.
All right. Okay. So I will tell you why you have. I'll tell you why you have. Yeah.
I think I know whether I.
Why I believe you have.
Why you think?
We looked
I
at the
have.
mobile phone.
Yeah.
We said if you did not go to the factory, you will still believe it's designed because of there's complexity behind it. Yeah. There must be a designer behind it. I said to you, which is more complex? You put your hands up that there must be a designer with a mobile phone. I said the mobile phone in the universe. You said the universe is more complex. if you can come to a conclusion of a designer of a mere object like a mobile phone, which is designed as complexity, when you said the universe is more complex because it has the iPhone inside it as well, one of the reasons, I have to come to the conclusion that you have to understand or accept that there must be a designer behind the universe. Otherwise, you have to reject the mobile phone. Why are you accepting the mobile phone?
Ali, why didn't you listen to the reasons he told you that it was designed? Listen to the reasons.
I don't believe you really understood anything else.
No, I don't think so either.
I mean, what more can I say?
How about
Who's
you?
the next?
How about no, Andy, please, Andy. It's very simple, yeah. Why is there no designer behind the universe when it's more complex than the phone? Explain that.
You don't know what my position is. My position is that it's beyond our understanding.
That doesn't
so
mean...
therefore we can't
But Andy, that doesn't
definitively say
Andy,
whether or not
saying...
there's some entity or something or other that lies behind.
No problem. I'm saying let's come to common agreement that is there an entity behind it. You're saying 500, 2 million, 5 million, 1, but is there?
I'm saying we don't know. And possibly in principle we cannot know.
I respect that. All right, you're saying we don't know, but then again, I've given you reasons and arguments to come to an understanding that there must be a designer.
I'm afraid
because you're saying I don't know.
They're very poor arguments.
That's what I've tried to say.
That's the
if
thing.
you don't read the literature, I suggest you start with David Hume.
I don't understand, but let's start off with
slightly awkward English because he was 18th century, but he sets out the arguments against all these design arguments.
Andy, that doesn't prove anything to me. You're telling me I don't know, therefore I reject God. Like, can you imagine?
Did I say I reject God?
Okay, let me tell you something. For example, just because you don't know doesn't mean there is not a designer behind it. For example, do you think, I'll give you an example, do you think in the rainforest a tree fell right as we're speaking?
But on the basis of one's...
Like possibility.
Wait a minute. On the basis of one's fairly skimpy knowledge of biology, rainforests and probability, I'd say in the interval of, and the size of the Amazon basin, I'd say in a decent interval of 1 minute, I'd say there's a pretty good chance of a tree falling. Okay. Not certainty.
Possibility.
That's my kind of layman's guess.
Okay, Andy.
If there's any experts on meteorology, Amazonian rainforest, I may stand corrected. They might be falling over, or
Andy,
you might have to wait an hour. Who knows?
Did you observe the tree being fell? And did you hear the tree being fell?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
no, I didn't.
Just because you did not know doesn't mean the tree didn't fall. So just the way you're saying, I don't know, doesn't mean that there's God or a designer doesn't exist.
That's pretty much my position, yeah.
Yes, but do you understand my position? Just because you don't know,
no, I don't.
Just because you don't know doesn't mean it does not exist.
No, your position seems to be you're using...
You don't understand my point, by the way.
Stop talking and let him speak. Goodness.
I am. I'm just trying to... I'll let him speak on. I'm being fair, bro. You can't put that on me like that. I'm listening to him as well.
You were doing...
I'm listening.
Going to the audience.
No, but sometimes you need audience. Call a friend, ask the audience. Yeah.
Stick with one person. Yeah. He's trying to teach you something about you...
That's my train of thought.
No.
What did you last say?
Okay, sorry. I said basically, because you said, look, I don't know, meaning maybe not, yeah? You're saying, I don't know, there might be a designer or not. I'm saying, just because you don't know, does not mean that a creator doesn't exist. Well, just because you're not aware. Yeah. Thank you. So the best possible explanation that we can come to, with simple reasoning, like the plate, is that there is a designer.
Right. Okay. So I have to say, based on my my intellect and my reading of these various arguments, is that with respect, you're arguing it is full of gaps, and I know you like to say keep it simple and so on, but unfortunately it's inherently complex, and that's why philosophers even today go on and on and on about these sorts of things, because somebody always finds a different angle on these things. So in other words, there's no certainty. So I have no problem at all with you. I mean, and you'll find good thinkers, good philosophers defending teleological arguments. They do. It's not a problem. Rob and I, perhaps, and John and others will take an opposite position. So that mere fact that we can stand here, or they can sit in their studies in Oxford and Cambridge, chewing these over, suggests it's not like an empirical science, for example, where you establish that the Earth goes around the Sun and everybody agrees with it apart from a few nutters. There's certain facts. Now, this design or not is not one of those facts that can be deduced. Now, maybe in the future the cosmologists will come back to us and say, look, you have to really good think about this, and to tell you the truth, there's only one answer: God did it. At the moment, it's nothing like that. There's nothing like that position at all. So we're trying to use principles from pure reason, if you like, and analogies. Now I wanted to get back to what is the nature of argument.
Sorry, but you know when you say there's nothing, no reasoning like that to suggest it's a creator, there is many scientists out there who are theists. So for you to say there isn't, you're just saying all the scientists, you're making it seem like every scientist is an atheist. No, they're not.
I didn't say that at all.
Like most of them, they find none of it.
No, please listen to what I'm saying. Well, when I mentioned cosmologists, that's a specific area, one of the specific areas that talk about origins and the nature of the universe in its entirety. And there will be some theistic cosmologists. I've never done a sample, I don't know, but I suspect a lot of them are agnostic. But they will. Some of them will take, for example, evidence like the Big Bang as being arguments in favour of there being a God. Others not. They'll have a different conception. But I don't think there's any sort of consensus within the field at the moment, such as there is, say, in basic astronomy, that says the Earth goes around the Sun. I mean, you'd have to be a complete fool to disagree with that one. So in other words, what I'm pointing to is areas of disagreement. Now, why is that the case? Why are there these areas of disagreement? Because in other areas of science where there's good observational evidence, like the Earth going around the Sun, you make predictions, the predictions come true, and everybody agrees that's the best model. It's not the case with cosmology or biology, say. That's another area, because you might claim that it needs God to feed life into dead matter. Well, again, that's an area of active research. We don't know yet, and there are huge advances being made on early life that suggest that it is perfectly feasible for life to arise from inert matter, but we don't know yet. So I think we're kind of jumping the gun. There may or may not come a time in the future where the body of scientists, cosmologists, if every cosmologist on the planet says, look, after all this thinking we've been doing for 200 years, since Einstein, we all agree that there must have been a God. If they all say that, I will probably go with the general.
So you need 200
but
scientists.
It may be a deist.
No, this is like
in 200 years, you're
making these scientists like your prophets. It's like they're your prophets. It's like a religion. You know why? Because you're saying if they come and affirm to me, I'm saying use it like, because the reason why you're deifying them, it's like you've made them a god. Because you know why? You're relying on them and saying, hey, if they come to me and say to me that there is a God, then I'll be like, okay. I'm saying, why do you need a group of scientists which
we don't need experts. This is the latest thing. I mean, tell me that next time you go to the dentist. Don't need an expert. I'll go to the car mechanic. It's far cheaper.
In Islam, we believe and we respect scientists who do their job. They tell us
when it suits you.
They know their place.
No, when it suits me. Yeah, not when it suits me. We respect them. Yeah, because they're doing the job. Like Allah says in the Quran, don't you ponder upon my creation. So scientists who go and ponder and tell us how things work, we appreciate that. Yeah, we appreciate it. But if they come and say, oh, this came by chance or nothing, I'll say I respect you, but I don't agree with you. There's same reason I'm doing that. I'm not going to say, hey, let me chop your head off. Yeah. So one second. What you did, Andy, was you start telling me things which went off on a tangent, because I was telling you, I understood where you come from. You spoke about a lot of things and you're telling me about the different opinions, blah, 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 with the scientists. But my main crux of the thing is that the universe, right? I'm talking about the universe. Give me the best explanation for the universe, just like you did with a plate smashed on the floor. What is the best explanation of the universe being designed? Since we've come to the conclusion with the phones. What is it? No, what is it? No, but you've done that with the plate. With the plate you said, look, you said earthquake, blah, 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 this, that. I'm saying simple reasoning, the complexity we talked about and the design behind the universe. What is the best possible explanation that you can come up with?
Me?
Yes, you.
I'm not a cosmologist.
You don't need to.
All I can do
is
just repeat to you what I've seen on YouTube and read in the New Scientist.
I'm talking to Andy. I'm not talking to the scientist behind you. Andy, simple reasoning. Look, the plate, yeah, just the universe is here. It works. The universe works.
Can we go back to analogy again?
No. Explain the analogy.
You see, I'm trying to make a point here, but why are you jumping somewhere else? I'll listen to your analogy.
But
let's address this topic first. Give me the best explanation for the universe.
Why did you introduce the plate into your request for me to talk about the universe?
Because with a simple plate, you come to simple conclusions.
Yeah.
With the universe, which is more complex than that plate, and is here, and it's working, what is your best explanation?
So we should have a simple conclusion.
Why does our plate
simple
apply to
conclusion.
this problem?
That's why you need to explain to him why the analogy is a problem, because he's using the analogy incorrectly and thinking, oh well, the two of them are just so simple. You can't not believe them.
So I've asked the question. You have to tell me why considering a plate has any relevance whatsoever with considering the origins or otherwise of the universe.
Because
what's the linkage?
Because if
I don't see it.
There's cause and effect, right? If the universe, yes, everything that has a cause has an effect. Yeah.
Everything.
Yes, everything that has
How would you
started. Everything that has started to exist has a cause behind it. Right?
How would you characterise the universe? What would you say the universe is? What is it?
It's a universe. What do you want to say?
Define it. You can't even define it, and yet you seem to know an awful lot about it.
I don't know. I never said you. I know.
You said where it comes from.
I'm using. No. Because in my understanding, I have simple reasoning here with the universe. It either came from nothing, either created itself, or it was created. Is there any other option that you can put in here? I can't come to anything else. With a plate falling, earthquake, cat, whatever. Simple. I will not say a blue dragon flew through my house and tipped it over. So with the universe, either came from nothing, it either created itself, or it's created.
Or it's always been there.
Huh?
What about it's always been there?
No, how? Where's your evidence there?
What's the option?
Where's your evidence there?
No, but you just said 3, Ali. There's more than 3, isn't there?
No. Where's your evidence there? Because if something is there, look, infinite in the real world doesn't exist. If I said I have an infinite amount of bananas and I took one banana out, how many bananas do I have?
So the universe is like, first of all, it's like plates, now it looks like bananas. It's also like a mobile phone. You seem to have some very strange ideas about. Next, you're going to say it stands on top of a pile of tortoises.
Not really, I never said that. I never said the banana created the universe.
No, you're always drawing analogies.
No, wrong.
And you don't want to go back to talk about the shakiness of using the analogy.
Saying it's wrong.
What about?
Ali, what we're saying is wrong is the analogy is wrong.
If the analogy is wrong, why don't
There might be a creator, but the analogy you're using is wrong. That's it.
If it's wrong, then why do you not address it?
He's addressed it, but you're not listening to him.
I said
What
to
about
you,
then?
Okay, look, he said to me, let's suppose that there is 500 gods. Why? Why did you?
Because that was your analogy.
No. Why did he not say to me, you know what? There can't be a universe, and there can't be a designer. The reason why it can't be a designer, bang.
Because you are using the analogy, so we're going with your analogy.
Refute my analogy. Say to me, Ali, it's wrong.
Wait a minute. I don't want to say there can't be a designer. I thought I'd made that clear. I'm agnostic about this.
Okay.
I'm saying that we don't know enough at the moment to say whether or not there is a designer.
So you're an agnostic. You don't know. He's different to him. Rob says.
We have a different take.
Okay.
On this.
What do I say? Just so you understand.
As far as I know,
different emphases.
You don't believe there's enough evidence to assume that there's a designer.
Correct.
Yes.
And so do I. I agree with that.
How are you agnostic?
Because I do not produce arguments to claim to prove there is no God.
But Andy, I've given you an
I will
argument.
not give you arguments to disprove.
Yeah, but Andy, I've given you an argument which we haven't moved on to. I've given you mobile phone, the universe. Tell me why the universe is not designed.
Well, what about?
I've told you why.
What about when the
why
mobile phone goes on the blink? Does the universe
goes on a what?
Does the universe ever go on?
Goes on a what? A blink.
Yeah.
When it goes on the blink, when it packs up, malfunctions. Does the universe ever malfunction?
Let's say it does. What does
It
that
does.
prove?
So that means God is your God, your creator, has come up with a very bad design.
Look at this example. Look at the example. Yeah. When my phone breaks down, Steve Jobs is an idiot.
Who is what?
Steve Jobs is an idiot. You're telling me if my phone malfunctions.
I was just hoping you could explain the analogy so you go, I get it now.
He said if the
That's
universe malfunctions, then your design has done a rubbish job, yeah? I'm saying that means if my phone breaks down, I go and say, Steve Jobs, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're an absolute idiot. No, it's not his fault because my phone malfunctions.
Whose fault is it?
There's most of them work. You see what I mean? It's not fair what
you
you're
don't
doing.
need one, you need one to malfunction.
Ali, but you're not here to learn, brother. This is not a killer to your case.
Rob,
if you listen to him,
I was chilling. You came to me. Yeah, I was relaxing. I was enjoying my day. You came to me on
You
the
don't
street.
come here to chill and enjoy your day.
No, I
You want to be over
do.
there.
Rob wanted to talk.
Ali, you're very passionate about this thing, which I accept.
Rob wanted to talk to me, and I talked to him. These are my arguments. Yeah? This is why I believe there is a design.
Yeah.
Simple reasoning. That's my point. I don't
And actually, what's interesting is that there was a point earlier, a few minutes ago, where I wanted to get in because it seemed that you were saying that your belief, if you like, is a matter of faith.
No.
There is no. That's an interesting subject because that's what I would say. Anybody, I'm not going to disagree with anybody who wishes to believe in a divine. I'm not going to try and dissuade them.
I'm the same.
I'll perhaps point out some of what I believe are the weaknesses in their reasoning to get there. But at the end of the day, if you have the faith or the belief, because there is enough room for that, then that's fine. I'll grant you that. There's no problem from my point of view.
In Islam,
but the problem for me, and it is a big problem, is those of a religious frame of mind who claim certainty. And you see, the problem there is nothing to do with the heavens or the creators. It's about the world on this, on our planet, our human lives on this planet. We know from our human history, wherever we get people who claim certainty, often bad things happen, where these certainties are not backed up by empirical evidence. So science, that's generally good, except we can produce bombs and that sort of thing. But it's morally neutral. But where we have people with ideologies, so that might be communism, fascism, and I'm afraid certain kinds of religion in the past, certain kinds of Christianity, certain kinds of Islam, because they will not accept.
Marxists, same thing.
Marxists, absolutely.
Exactly. What I'm trying to say
is my problem with
science can't give you absolute truth.
No.
Exactly. So what I'm trying to say is limited. But I'm not coming here and saying, for example, I have total blind faith. Islam doesn't work like Christianity might do. I don't say, hey, I believe in this, but people come and give me reason, and I'm like, no, full faith. It works with faith and reasoning.
So
Islam,
you won't tell us then.
God Almighty says, use your intellect, use your brain. Don't you ponder upon the creation. So I'm pondering, I'm looking around, I'm thinking, okay, all right. Well,
so you won't tell us then.
There's design behind it. I'm using that. Well, for example, with other individuals, it's full faith.
But it's based on faith.
Absolute faith. No. My one is not just based on faith. It's with reasoning
but
and
you won't,
intellect.
hold on,
yeah? But it's just based on faith.
There's faith there, but not. You see, if you have just faith, then if somebody comes and says, this is grass, you say no. Like I'm saying, if you had full faith, if your scripture said to you, it's not grass, it's whatever, you have full faith. You're just going to be blind faith. It's just going to be whatever you tell me. I don't want to know. In Islam, you reason.
So for you personally,
thank you.
What is the faith doing?
Okay,
tell me what the boundaries of it. What does it do for you?
Let me put it like this. We believe in Islam that, for example, if I'm in a car, I put my seatbelt on. Then I put my trust in God. I don't say, hey, I'm going to jump off the 10th floor. God, you save me. God says you're stupid. You don't. Why are you jumping off the 10th floor? You don't test God. What we do is we say, like for example, I do what I need to do. I have all my safety gear on. I'm climbing the mountain. I've done everything that I can do to be safe and to live. Anything after that, I leave it to the will of God. If I die, it was meant to be because I did what I can. So, but some people, what they do is they're like, nah, I believe God. I'll climb this mountain. Oh, just dropped. You're stupid. That's suicide. You're dumb.
No, so hold on a minute.
In Islam,
hold on.
By the way, I need to pray in 5 minutes.
That's all right. I'll take 5 minutes. So you won't tell us then later on that the scientists say that the universe was created in the Big Bang. You won't use that.
No, I do Big Bang. Okay, Big Bang.
No, but you criticise him for accepting what the scientists say.
I never. No, you're missing the point. What you're saying is, you know what's here? You're saying that he should fully believe in science and I should fully reject it. No, why don't we come to a common agreement? We will take what the scientists tell us. For example, I will take... No, not useful to me. I believe in the Quran, I believe it's from God Almighty. Now, if the God Almighty says, for example, the universe is expanding, for example, and the scientists come today and say the universe is not expanding, I will go with the Quran. Why? Because the Quran, I believe, is from God Almighty. The scientists who are doing these tests, they can come 10 years later and go, we made a mistake. This is what science is about. It changes. They come, first they were saying the earth was flat. How many years ago? They came and said, look, we made a mistake. And this has happened a lot. Scientists find out new things and their conclusions change.
It's the great thing about science.
Yes,
it changes.
Okay. But how can I put my whole life on a matter, my faith? I'm talking about here because I believe this life it's not, I didn't just come here with no reason and I'm just here, boom, just popped out of nowhere and I'm going to live and die. There's more to life than I believe that. If my stinky socks have a purpose, if my socks have a purpose, I don't have a purpose. My socks have a purpose and designed, and
analogies again.
Come on, again.
So now you're analogizing between your stinky socks and you.
Yes.
No, that really is not. Either that elevates your socks to some sort of...
Not really.
Or it's working the other way.
It shows that a simple thing like my socks and the purpose and the design are more complex. I should have a purpose, I should have design behind me, and I believe that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So this is where I'm coming from. I respect scientists, but I don't put my absolute truth in that because they can change. They change. They come today and say this, next day they say we got it wrong. I respect that. Do your work. Tell us how the universe works, but you can never tell us why it works the way it does.
I'm not too bothered about these differences, if you like, or agreements between ancient scriptures and modern science to do with the natural world. I'm more bothered about prescriptions that you find in these ancient scriptures that are to do with how we should organise our lives. Because they refer to, I mean, if you look at the Torah, you know, the Christian God.
Yeah, that's another topic, right? You're right.
Well, the point is, if you say all this comes down from God, you then have a moral system which contains a lot of good things, like giving to the poor and so on. But you have certain edicts like it is permissible for a man to have up to 4 wives, or slavery is not exactly banned, and various other things as well. You know, people will have these lists at length. So that's all come from God. So therefore, it must, in your view, be right for a whole of eternity.
No, of course. But let me tell you why
I'd have to disagree with some of that.
I respect that. Before I go pray, I just want to understand. That's why when I speak to an atheist, I talk about God Almighty. There is no point in me talking to you about the Quran and the 4 wives and whatever, when we haven't even established if there's a creator. Once we come to a common term with the creator, there's a design, we can come to the Quran. Now, regarding the 4 wives and all these laws that seem strange to you, now what we need to understand is this, yeah? God Almighty has told us things for a reason. There's context behind it. God Almighty doesn't say, hey, go and have 4 wives and sleep around or do whatever you like. There's wisdom behind it. For example, I believe today the non-Muslim society, they practice polygamy. How? Yeah? Most men out there, if you look at statistics, they have premarital relationships. They have a mistress or a side chick. Yeah? So what God says to us, just because of the 4 wives that we mentioned, I'll just give an explanation, is that, look, you are married. Yeah? Okay. If you, for example, because we can't commit adultery, meaning I can't go and cheat on my wife, talk to those who my wife's back, I can't do that. So God Almighty is giving us a regulation. This does not mean you have to go and do it, because most Muslims are married. But there's a reason behind it. There was times when men would go to war, men would die, there were surplus women. What happens to these women? What is the solution for these women? They have to get married, they have needs, they need somebody to take care of them. If this means, and this was happening 100 years ago, yeah, in this country. So I'm saying, just because we don't see the wisdom, we're like especially for females, whoa, like come on, I'm not gonna share my man. Yeah, we respect that. But what I'm trying to say is there is a reason why that has been set down. There is a reason why he tells you to do that. Yeah. For example, there's many reasons behind it. Like I was giving an example of guys in today's society, they sleep around, this, that. We can't do that. So if we want to get married again, God says you honor the woman you marry again. Let's say your second wife, yeah? You have to honor her. How? You buy her a food, you buy her a food. For a house, you got to get her a house. You have to treat them equally. Not like a side chick where I'm married and I got a side girl where I just commit sex, just for sexual desire. What about the right to girl? Just because of your sexual desire, you just want to use her and abuse her? Islam says no. You want to do it? You do it the correct way. You give her right. You marry her. You go to her father and say, "Can I marry your daughter?" Yes. She doesn't have to. It doesn't mean, hey, you have to marry her. She says, I don't want to be a co-wife. I don't want it. Okay, no problem.
Are you off to pray now?
Yeah, I have to pray.
I was just wondering whether to start my... I see you're getting into the flow now. I just thought I'd remind you.
Andy, it was nice talking to you. It was a pleasure. I hope you understand where I'm coming from.
No, I do.
I hope I didn't offend you. Yeah, it's just I get a bit passionate sometimes. Yeah?